Hey y'all, it's racing day, so loud out here I can't hear a thing. Man, the fans are going wild. And these drivers came to rock, and no place else but Fox knows how to do it NASCAR style.
Boogity, boogity, boogity! Let's go racing, boys!
Hey now, here we go, race day. Don't you be going slow. Keep that pedal down on the floor. Push it till the crowd can't take no more. Then hey, since the flag came down, be here till the last lap around. Worked all week, it's time to play. Gonna get a little bit sideways. Hey, since the flag came down, be here till the last lap around. Worked all week, it's time to play. Gonna get a little bit sideways.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to everybody's egg-shaped speedway in the Southeast. It's race number 13 of 18 here in the LIMECAR SimRacing Challenge. The season is winding down, but that doesn't mean we get to go to one of the hottest and fastest tracks on the schedule, the Southern 500 at Darlington Raceway here in Darlington, South Carolina. We have somebody in the booth after a week of not having anybody in the booth alongside me. We are back with DAF Racing team owner Dominic Anthony alongside me. Dominic, how are you today?
I'm great. I'm excited to be back in the booth. Nobody wanted to be the father that stepped up last week, but it's okay because I am today, and it's going to be a great race.
Absolutely. We've had quite a bit of great races here at Darlington over the years. The race length, much like Gateway, has gone down over the past seasons, but that doesn't mean the racing action has gone down. Last season's winner, Aris Yuko, in the number 54, looks to reclaim his crown as the Southern 500 champion, but it's going to be Garrett Lamar who takes his third pole of the season. He'll be starting up front alongside a plethora of Dodges. That's going to be something to make note. After what was surely a very exhilarating race at Iowa Speedway last week, where Garrett Lamar came oh so close, he's going to start on the front row on the pole. But Dominic, it's Darlington week. How about these race facts? Let's take a listen to them.
Yeah, we got 74 laps here today, as you noted, shorter than some previous races here at Darlington. This is a driver's track, so it's going to be in the hands of the drivers today. Equipment is going to be less of a factor than at other intermediates, like say a Fontana or a Kansas or something like that. It'll be difficult to pass. Only two real grooves here, and sometimes only one. It'll be a 27 to 30 lap fuel run, so we're looking at a 2-stop race if it goes green, but anytime there's a yellow, there will be 4 tire pit stops for pretty much everyone because this is a tire wear track.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dominic. Let's get into our starting lineup here. Can't wait to get this race started. Row 1, Garrett Lamar and Aaron Giffen. Row 2, a lot of Kevin Harvick Inc. up front, Anthony Foss and Cam Arrow. Row number 3 sees Nicholas Soa in his best qualifying effort, or second best, and Tyler Cook. Ian McDaniel having a strong run of form up front, and Quentin Haley make up row 4. Row 5 sees Mudfish Motorsports Ricardo Garcia and Desquarius Greenhouse Jr. Row 6, Santiago Nicholas and Matthew Fastnot. Row 7 sees Christian Visconti, the always joyous, and Jerry Chen. Reigning winner Aris Yuko and Ryan Barone make up row 8. Row 9 sees last week's winner Hunter Collier and Logan Williams. Row 10 has Justin Haley in a spot that he's most known for in 20th and Strokey Banger. Row 11th has Henry Guo and Zachary Pons. Row 12 will see Cass Gralla and Kyle Mabey. Row number 13 is going to have Jordan Madrid and 2-time winner this season, Michael Guthrie. Nathan Stapleton and Richard Fridge make up row 14 as the cars are going to roll off here. Row 15 sees Iowa native Blake Walker and number 3, Joe Kraus. Alexander Rowe in the number 0 makes up row 16 alongside Robbie Gordoff. Row 17 has Ethan Harrison in a track that he loves and Brayson Collins, the little team out of England. Row 18 sees Austin Green and a pretty surprising low qualifying effort from Marnell. Gibbons and Wright Jr. make up row 19. Digafos and Chris Lilly make up row 20. And rounding out the field here today, Reed Simpson and Norris Toll. Well, you said it earlier, 74 laps. It's going to be a fun one here. A little bit of partly cloudy skies, but it's still 87 degrees. Any final notes before we get going here?
Yeah, just one more thing I want to note is that turn 2 was kind of a trouble spot in practice and qualifying, so that's an area to watch in the race today. Lots of opportunity for mistakes, especially in that corner.
Absolutely. Well, Garrett Lamar, Aaron Giffen, and 2 other Kevin Harvick Inc. Dodges are going to make their way into turn number 1, hitting the restart zone. Green flag is out. We're underway. The 13 of Lamar. Can he make that second place finish from last week into a first place finish today? We'll find out.
Yeah, as you noted, this is his 3rd pole of the season. Has yet to capitalize on that and turn one of them into a win. So he'll be looking to change that today.
And CRT as a whole have really been pole merchants. Only 1 win on the season with, as we saw, Christopher Marnell at Gateway. But they've got, 6 total poles throughout this season as Lamar leads lap number 1.
And they actually have the 3 best qualifying averages this season. They have the most poles with Lamar, and then he also has the best qualifying average with Christopher Marnell in 2nd and Robbie Gordoff in 3rd. So the qualifying setup is very strong there at CRT, as we have a move for the lead here with Aaron Giffen.
Giffen made a move off of 2. I think Lamar was in the wall. We weren't as excited about that. Look at Tyler Cook making his way into 3rd. That's a CRT driver that we didn't mention in the best qualifying average results here, but he's sitting in 3rd place right now, finally showing a little run of form after having a little downhill stretch after the first 2 or so races, being leading in points. I mentioned that a lot at Iowa, but he's sitting in 3rd right now as the field's going to fly by at a 4.
Yeah, he had some good speed last week at Iowa. Unfortunately, had that fuel issue at the end of the race that cost him quite a bit of track position. But other than that, he had some good speed, and he's looking to rebound after a pretty disappointing stretch there, especially a particularly rough weekend at Gateway.
On board with Aaron Giffen in 2nd place, the only person holding these 2 back between Lamar and Cook at Gateway. You mentioned rough weekend. These 2 got into a little bit of an incident. 43 taking out the 13. So Giffen acting as a little buffer between these 2. I don't think the water has boiled over quite yet, or cooled off quite yet.
I wouldn't expect it to get too bad over there, as we see Quentin Haley in the wall in turn 2. That's the trouble spot that we mentioned earlier, and he's going to survive it this time, but you definitely want to be careful with that.
Big Darlington Stripe for that 31. Looks like it's the first driver to get a real Darlington Stripe, as that 31 has fallen off a little bit from his starting spot here on lap 6 of 74. There's Hunter Collier back there in 20th, last week's winner.
Yeah, and speaking of Quentin Haley struggling, he actually has the worst average finish so far this season, outside the top 30. So definitely looking to improve on that. It's been a really rough go of it so far, but it's not too late to turn it around. He's not going to win the title or anything, but he can start stacking up some good finishes here.
Absolutely. As we are looking at 3 of the 4 Mudfish Motorsports cars in the top 10. Oh, into the wall goes Aaron Giffen as Cook is going to try to make a pass around him. I think Giffen's able to slingshot around. The 43 got way loose coming off of turn 2. So early in turn 2, the trouble spot bit the 62, and then coming out of the corner, it bit the flat part of turn 2, bit the 43. But this circles back to your original point. This is such a tough track to even pass on, really a single groove. And the higher you are close up against that wall, of course, you definitely cut the corner a little bit coming off of 2. But the higher you are on that wall, the better.
I was just going to say that we're kind of seeing that talking point play out in real time here as far as the difficulty to pass, because even when guys are getting in the wall, it's hard for the next car to pass them because of how narrow this place is.
Side by side here for what appears to be battle for 6th, Anthony Foss and Desquarius Greenhouse Jr. Foss is going to have the advantage coming off the corner. Desquarius Greenhouse Jr. gave him a lot of room coming off of 2. Especially early in this race, you're wanting to give a lot more than you're going to take. These tires are going to wear so much. I think it's going to come down to tire management, who's able to save their stuff the best. And that was a smart racing move from the 53, noticing he's going to use up his stuff if he stays side by side with the 21. But now he goes into the wall. That's not the way that you want to save your stuff there, as he's going to fall back a few positions outside the top 10 it appears.
And with how hard it is to pass here, that's definitely something you can't do. Lose 4 or 5 spots in one go like that is what you need to avoid, because it's going to take 10 times as long to get that back as it does to lose it.
I would say 10 times is generous, as that 53 is side by side with the 04. Matthew Fastnot, your Roval winner, hasn't shown too much speed. That's Strokey Banger in the fence right there, as he's going to lose some positions. Right as I was about to mention, Mudfish Motorsports, all of them were in the top 15. A rare occurrence, not because of pure speed, but mostly due to driver skill at different tracks. We mostly see some of them do better at road courses, some of them do better at short tracks, but here at Darlington, they've all seemed to really find their pace, at least qualifying-wise, which is not something we'd expect from a driver like Ricardo Garcia or the 2 rookies that they've got on the team.
Yeah, and especially with how much parity there is in this series, there's not really a dominant team. In fact, I'm pretty sure that my team and Mudfish are the only 2 that have multiple cars win races this season. So that point that you made about having multiple cars in the top 15, or all their cars in the top 15, that is pretty impressive with how much parity there is in this series right now.
I would say a third best team or a top 3 team would be Price's Racing team, and they've only got 2 cars that are in the top. What would it be? The top 15, because they've got the 23 is back there in 28th or 30th, and then the 33 of Robbie Gordoff also didn't qualify well. So again, really shows to the parity of how well they did. And a big note to Kevin Harvick Inc. as well. 3 of their 4 cars in the top 10, especially out of drivers like Cam Arrow and drivers like Anthony Foss, who haven't had the greatest of seasons, but have really shown their worth over the past few weekends.
Yeah, I was going to say, we really haven't seen a lot out of those 2 this year. Obviously, Aaron Giffen himself got that win at Atlanta. But for the rest of the team, it hasn't been the greatest season ever. They've kind of been flying under the radar. So good to see them running up front here today.
That 21 of Anthony Foss has put together 2 solid weekends back-to-back. At Gateway was a top 10 run, and then Iowa was also a top 10 run. It might be too late for them to make a championship charge. We've seen drivers before make late charges from as deep as about 10th or 12th from the point standings, but that midfield battle is really, really close and is heating up, especially later in the run, and it could carry some valuable momentum throughout the rest of the season, or for next season too.
We're watching this battle for the lead right here between the top 3. It's kind of like looking back to the finish at Iowa last week, where the top 3 are under a blanket and right on each other's bumpers, but none of them can make a pass on the other because it's just so difficult to pass right here. Giffen looks to have the faster car compared to Lamar right now, but he just doesn't have anywhere to get the move done. And similar can be said for Tyler Cook back there in 3rd. Looks like he's getting held up by these guys.
Absolutely. It appears Lamar might have used up his stuff a little bit, or just doesn't have that long run pace that one might anticipate from a track like Darlington, where I think this is one of the tracks where you'll see yellows in abundance sometimes, but this is a place you'll always see a long run. It's not like Martinsville, where you're almost guaranteed to have, at a cup race, a 100-lap run, barring stages. Same thing here. I think you're always going to start the race off with a long run. These guys don't want to push their stuff to the max. But if these cautions start flying, who knows, that short run speed could be great for that 13, especially with fresh tires.
Yeah, we're kind of on an IndyCar-esque run of no cautions here between last week at Iowa going completely caution-free and now the first chunk of the race here going caution-free. So it'll be interesting to see who breaks that streak.
Coming off of turn 4, coming to lap 20 of 74 here. Top 3 under a blanket. Nicholas Soa and Ian McDaniel almost nowhere to be found, as we'll look back at Matthew Fastnot making a move on Desquarius Greenhouse Jr. It appears that move was a bit ill-timed. The 17 Logan Williams moved up kissed that fence there that shows the racecraft of Logan Williams. I mean, he was riding the Larson line there. He was all up on that fence, quarter panel on it, but no scrapes or scratches out of that 17 yet, as he's going to make the pass out of turn 4. Him and Jerry Chen are going to get the advantage off of Matthew Fasson.
Yeah, Logan's really good here. He almost won the truck race here last year, was super close, finished second, and I was excited to see him in a cup car here because I know he's super good on these intermediates like this. As we see the 46 of Ryan Barone in the wall there, only going to lose one spot, it looks like, luckily for him.
Barone's been putting in a fair bit of sim time, as he's told me, so that's good to see that 46 car doing some work. The 0 of Alexander Rowe has a fair bit of damage on his car on both sides. It looks like he got run into. Oh, big wiggle off of turn 4. Him and Marnell get into it. They both stay clean. We stay green. Lily's going to try to take the advantage on Marnell.
Yeah, and that was a pretty solid hit to the wall for Marnell there. That wasn't just a Darlington Stripe. That was a very unbalanced hit with the rear hitting more than the front. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's some damage to that that's going to affect his pace.
And if we get green flag pit stops, a big wiggle out of the 23 there. If we get green flag pit stops, that's going to slow that CRT group down, who have had some well-known struggles with pit stops early on in this season, just as a matter of not being able to get it done, especially in crucial moments. I mean, they lost a few positions on pit road the past few weeks. They did get the 13, the second place over Grayson Collins. Unfortunately, wasn't for the lead, but I think that's been their best performance this season. As we look at Henry Guo, who's also been having a good run of form the past 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, one of the few drivers running a throwback here today. I believe it's only 4. But he's in the spirit with his Marcos Ambrose scheme from the Nationwide Series back in the day. But yeah, he's been on a good run recently. Got back-to-back P2s a couple races ago at Coda and Gateway, so he's building towards that points lead right now.
He is definitely a sneaky contender. As his pace has picked up, the 17s, I know you aren't going to be one to talk too harshly on this, but the 17 hasn't been really in the limelight as of recent. I'd say the last 4 or 5 weeks is 04 in the wall. He's going to keep it off of anybody else. But Logan Williams just hasn't been anywhere to be seen. He's been having some mid-pack speed, especially over the course of the in-season tournament starting at Bristol.
Yeah, ever since the win at Fontana and then the top 10 at Bristol, it's been a little bit lackluster since then, but we got it back on track last week with the top 5 at Iowa, so I'm hoping to build on that. Like I said, he's good here, and the cars are good on intermediates typically, so hopefully this is the start of rebounding towards the front of the field.
Big sidewall damage for the 31 of Quentin Haley. That's going to be coming out of his paycheck, as it looks like Aaron Giffen on the high side. Lamar's not able to close the door in the 62 with a huge run. Takes the lead here on lap 27 of 74. Aaron Giffen out front, and he's going to gap the 13 of Garrett Lamar, and the 43 of Tyler Cook is going to stay behind that 13 car. 62 out in front, new leader here on lap 27.
Yeah, that was a power move by Aaron Giffen. I wasn't even sure that he was going to get alongside the 13, and he not only did that, but he cleared him before they even got to the start-finish line pretty much, so that was a huge move, and he's already put like 10 car lengths on him, so the pace difference is very obvious right now. He was clearly getting held up.
Absolutely. As smoke in turn 3. Oh no, looks like the yellow's going to come out. Oh, that's Ethan Harrison in the 77. Huge damage on the rear of that car.
Looks to be a single car incident, which is pretty surprising with how narrow this place is, but we'll have to take a look at the replay and see exactly what happened.
Looks like he got help. That's Nathan Stapleton in the 11.
Yeah, I guess I spoke too soon on that, so at least 2 cars involved here.
Big damage for the 11 of Stapleton, as the yellow's going to come out, the 62, and the field are going to wait for the pace car to come around. Interesting that they're slowing down to a halt there as the pit road is open. Let's take a look at this replay. Looks like it's Chase Gibbons heavy in the fence. And it comes down across the nose of his team owner, Reed Simpson. And that kickstarts the incident.
Yeah, that's a very odd incident because that looks to be completely separate from what Ethan Harrison experienced.
Oh,
I guess
Reed Simpson
he
came
gets
back.
caught up with Reed Simpson there and then gets drilled by Nathan Stapleton, and Bryson Collins is going to have some damage from that as well.
The pointy noses of these Camaros are definitely going to take a hit. Let's go on board with Stapleton. We'll see the whole incident here. Looks like the 11 thought he was clear, and oh man, looks like Ethan. I don't think there was much either one could do there, but Ethan just seems to have swung right up back.
Yeah, the 77 was definitely out of control there. Nothing he could do about it, and then the 11 was just trying to get through it, probably full throttle at that point.
So the middle half of the field does pit. This appears to be from 10th on back. Pit road was open when Aaron Giffen and the others came on through. We'll see if that gamble pays off, as it appears to be 4 tires and fuel for the field, and they will peel away. Very quick pit stops here. As
this is going to be a clashing of two ideologies here, because on one hand, tires do matter a lot, and tires wear a lot here, but at the same time, track position is also a premium, as it looks like we're going to have a second round of stops here, which is kind of unusual. But the guys that stayed out the first time around are going to pit here.
it looks like it was monkey see, monkey don't, and then they changed the strategy call. There must have been a big miscommunication here, as the 62-13, that entire top 10, top 11 group is going to come down pit road, and that's a fair amount of fast cars that are what appears to be, they're going to be sent to the back as they're pitting after everybody else. So that's going to supplant the 53 and the rest of those guys to the front of the field.
Yeah, this is a massive strategy whiff by everyone that was in control of this race up until now, but also a huge gift for guys like Squarius Greenhouse and Logan Williams and Jerry Chen, who have all of a sudden found themselves in the top 5 of this race.
Race off pit road, not going to matter because it looks like it's going to be for 30th. As we'll go back green here shortly. Nathan Stapleton, unfortunately, out of the race, but now the 53 of Desquarius Greenhouse Jr. sees himself in the lead. We're going to be restarting a lap 32 of 74. Greenhouse, Logan Williams, Zachary Ponce in the 16, Jerry Chen, and Michael Guthrie. That's going to be your top 5 heading towards the restart zone. Green flag is back out. We are underway once again here at Darlington Raceway. Greenhouse leading him down into turn number 1.
And you mentioned Zachary Ponce up there in the top 5. Good run last week at Iowa, so he's looking to make it back-to-back here.
Oh, into the wall he goes. Announcer's curse almost immediately.
And Greenhouse had kind of a moment off turn 2 there as well. He got kind of swirly with Logan Williams right on his bumper, but they gathered it up and they looked to be okay.
Absolutely, as roaring through turns 1 and 2 go the 53, 17th right on that back bumper, Logan Williams, as the 77 of Ethan Harrison is going to hold up the 37 and 51 in the rest of that group, and it's deja vu with a new crew up front. 3 cars under a blanket right here, although it looks like the 53, these guys are really all similar on pace. The 16 actually lost a fair bit of ground here. If you're Desquarius Greenhouse Jr., the last person you want to see in your mirror, especially at a driver's track like this, has to be Logan Williams.
And this is kind of a mirror image of what we saw earlier with the 13 and the 62, where I'd say the second car in line is clearly faster than the lead car, but they just can't get past them because of how hard it is to pass here. And speaking of that, with the 77 holding up this massive train of lead lap cars here, all the crew chiefs better be paying attention to this for the second stop, because if you stay out and get track position on old tires, there's a chance you're going to be able to hold off the guys on new tires behind you, because just look at what the damage 77 is doing right now.
It looks like the 43 hit the wall pretty heavy once again, as that sidewall's really caved in. That's going to be coming out of Tyler Cook's paycheck. Lily Diabetes is going to be picking up the tab on that one, but he's sitting in 31st and really silent over the radio for these guys. Frustration, anger, could be any one of those, but for some of these guys who could have had a banner day, they're sitting back here in the back of the field, and with how hard it is to pass, heavy into the wall, Norris told, it's going to be a difficult day for them. I think this is the first time we've talked about Norris told in about 5 weeks, and unfortunately it's mostly for just incidents for him and not so much pace.
Yeah, he's another one that's really towards the bottom of the standings. Didn't get dealt the best cards with Creation Motorsports shutting down, and now he's obviously driving for Team Chevy Development, but a lot of those guys are probably wanting the season to be over already, as we have a move for the lead here with Zachary Ponce, the Squares Greenhouse getting in the wall, and a huge save there from Jerry Chen.
Big moment out of turn 2 there, as that's going to put the 16 out in front, Logan Williams in second, and now after getting by the 77, the 51 and 37, they've got some pace here as Michael Guthrie looks to make a move on his teammate heading into turns 1 and 2. Through the bottom he goes. The 53 is going to have the advantage. Big wiggle out of both the 51 and the 53. Those Fords are wicked loose.
Yeah, and the 53 has really been flirting with that the whole time. That car does not look like it's driving well, but he is driving it, and he's doing a good job of it, but he definitely looks like he's struggling for grip and pace out there.
That left sidewall damage, it appears he hit the right front of the 37 of Jerry Chen, as the 37, Jerry Chen, goes into the wall. He's able to unglue himself before Justin Haley, the spring Darlington merchant himself, comes roaring in. He's sitting in 6th place right now, that 99, having probably the best run that he's had his whole season here in LIMECAR.
Yeah, between the Cup Series and LIMECAR, this is probably the highest he's been all year. So he's got to be excited about that. And there was someone back there a couple spots behind these guys that smacked the wall pretty hard in turn 2 as well. I'm not exactly sure who that was, but that was about 6th or 7th place.
If memory serves me correctly, that would probably be Ryan Barone once again. But a lot of Chevrolets back there. Chevrolets that aren't normally up front. That's Ryan Barone. Christian Visconti as well. He's sitting in 7th place. But this little strategy flip after the miscue from the top 10, and it appears that some of these guys, I think Visconti took 2 tires, Justin Haley took 2 tires. This has brought some guys up to the front of the field that we normally don't see, and great crew chiefing from some of those mid-pack drivers that are looking for good points days, because we're already it's already been a pretty quick race. We're well past halfway, last lap 42-74, as we look at the 48 and the 13 sitting in about 30th. As we mentioned, their strategy miscues. Is once again Norris told in the wall, again out of turn 4 or out of turn 2. Speaking of somebody that just wants his season to be over, wants this race to be over, Norris told, not having a good time across the pond.
Yeah, and I'm still just absolutely flabbergasted by the strategy there from the initial leaders of this race. Very odd.
As again, off the wall goes the 46. He's got himself a big Darlington Stripe, getting passed by the 23 of Christopher Barnell. He started in 36th, and he's made his way into the top 10. A little bit of help from strategy, but he was able to make some passes with ease there. That 23 is coming to life here in the second half of this race.
Greenhouse back in the wall up here. I'm surprised that he is racing his teammates so hard, Michael Guthrie. The 51 is clearly faster right now. You'd think that Astolfo Motorsports would want to be getting him up there into that lead battle. But the 53 is driving his own race right now.
He's leading in his own heart. Don't worry. He thinks that he's out front. That 37 of Jerry Chen, though, seems to be pretty happy in 5th place right now. Has been running it clean. Look at that 37, that throwback. No Darlington Stripe on that, man. Pretty good run out of that 37 car.
Yeah, Jerry's had a few bright spots this season. Overall, like as a whole complete season, it hasn't been the greatest, but he's definitely had a few moments where he's shown his talent, and he's doing that again today. Just got to work on the consistency a little bit, and I think he should be a contender next season.
Big Darlington Stripe out of the 60 of Hunter Collier, last week's winner. Now, Dominic, I know we're good friends with our guy Ian and Joe Kiswanchez over at Bones Motorsports. A little love. How about this resurgence out of this Bones Motorsports camp? A win last week in the 60, leading right now with the 16, and the 6 of Ian McDaniel was up front as well. Austin Green, unfortunately, just hasn't had a season to be noteworthy of, but some good quality speed out of a camp that switched from Dodge over to Ford from Season 2 to Season 3.
Yeah, if anything, I was kind of surprised that we didn't see more out of them sooner. They were one of the powerhouses last season. They had, of course, Ian McDaniel contending for the championship all the way up to the last race. And Ian himself has shown a lot of good speed early in the races. I remember, like, Atlanta, he was up front a lot. Charlotte, he was up front a lot and got screwed by strategy there. So they've had speed, but I was surprised that it took them so long to get to victory lane. But good job by Hunter Collier last week to finally get that done and get the monkey off their back, and now they can start building towards getting a couple more.
Absolutely. Hunter Collier, not the one I expected to get the win, but nonetheless, still really good to see them back in victory lane. Ian was partying with the rest of them, and Joe was about as stoic as ever, as Justin Haley reeling in this 37, although it appears that he's sort of saving his stuff. It doesn't look like he's really on the charge right now. I guess even though this hasn't been the greatest of seasons from either side of his racing, he's currently really just sitting back. He's letting everything play out. He still has one more pit stop to go. We pitted at lap, into the wall goes the 99, right as I was talking good about it. I'll just throw that all out the window. He gets passed by Christian Visconti and Christopher Marnell, who has made his way into 7th place now. But that 99 group has been doing okay this season. I'm sure they're glad to see Darlington on the schedule. But, yeah, I mean, not the greatest of seasons from either side for this 99 camp.
Yeah, and back to that point you were making about there still being one more pit stop left. As much as we want to talk about what's happening right now as we see Jerry Chen in the wall, as much as we want to talk about the current running order and the current leaders, this race could still get completely turned inside out. I mean, we saw it happen once already, where the people who we thought were going to contend for the win are now completely irrelevant. So that could happen again, and what we're watching right now could end up being completely meaningless, depending on how the cautions fall and what happens on this next pit cycle.
Absolutely. Having pitted on, let me check my notes. So we came down pit road on lap 28 and 29, had a few laps under caution. So your fuel window is going to open in about maybe 7 to 10 laps. Honestly, nearing on 10 laps to go. And it's not so much whether or not you can let your tires last, because you're going to want to be getting tires as soon as possible. I think undercutting is the strategy, like we saw at Iowa. That's going to be the play. But if you stay out super long, we're going to see such a huge pace fall off, and you're going to have to pit for fuel anyways. Is coming in as early as possible the move?
Yeah, I think it's really a game of risk versus reward, because if this race were guaranteed to go green to the end, then you'd have guys pitting right now because you'd want to get on fresh tires as soon as possible, and that's the obvious call. But obviously that's not a guarantee, and we could have a caution. So if you pit early, then you run the risk of having a caution come. So that brings a whole new factor into it that you got to consider. So you really just got to weigh your options, and if you want to be risky, and which risk you want to take, because both options are risky.
Big wiggle out of Marnell, but it's going to work for him as he goes 2 for 1 in one lap. That's going to put the 23 in 3rd place here, or no, 4th place, I'm sorry, as he's gotten around the 51 and 37 for that 5th place spot. Christopher Marnell, having started relatively, honestly, well towards the back, into the wall goes Jordan Madrid in that Hendrick Cars red, white, and blue machine. But not to harp on Christopher Marnell so much, I feel like we just do it, but now that he's got the monkey off his back, finally has a win in him, it looks like that 23 has really saved his stuff, and he's got a really good car, and he's been working his way through this field.
Yeah, and evidently that wall contact earlier off turn 4 wasn't as impactful as we thought it was going to be, because it's basically like it never even happened right now with how he's running.
As I saw Jordan Madron in the wall once again, the Durham, North Carolina native, taking the 3-hour drive down from the Hendrick Motorsports shop, bringing him and Nicholas Soa's cars down. As side-by-side, Matthew Fastnaugh and Henry Guo for inside the top 10. And Robbie Gordoff, we mentioned earlier, he was the lone car of the bunch that we didn't talk about of the CRT camp. He's sitting there just outside the top 10. Michael Guthrie is sitting right on that back bumper of Christopher Marnell.
Yeah, and we're closing in on 10 laps to go here, so I'm getting kind of antsy waiting to see when these pit stops are going to start, because you got to come at some point. At some point, you got to take the risk and get on fresh tires, even if a caution's going to come out. You just got to do it.
Absolutely, as it looks like the caution lights are out on the speedway. We're staying green for now. We'll see when the flag gets thrown, as the 60 of Hunter Collier, he's going to peel down pit road. Alexander Rowe as well. Now the yellow comes out, and it's for Norris Told, laying some fluid down on the racetrack, and that's going to bring out our second yellow of the day.
So this is going to save these two in a way, because now this eliminates the risk of anyone undercutting them. But at the same time, you have to hope that you don't completely screw up the strategy like the leaders did in the first stop. So as long as these guys don't completely mess it up, they should be good to remain 1-2 here. And it looks like Norris Told just lost an engine. Wasn't an accident or anything.
Yeah, it looks like that motor just went coming out of turn 4. So these pit stops will be on lap 60, or no, yep, lap 60 of 74 here. So 14 to go, and it looks like everybody's going to come on down pit road. And that was such poor timing of the yellow for Hunter Collier and Alexander Rowe. As the second the yellow came out, they had just gotten lapped. They weren't able to peel away and take advantage of their fresh tires. So,
yeah, definitely unfortunate timing for them, but that's what we were talking about with the risk versus reward element. It didn't look like a caution was going to come out for the longest time, but then as soon as they pit, it happened right away.
4 tires and fuel for relatively the whole field. As everybody peels off and away, it looks like Logan Williams lost a few spots off of pit road, and as it appears, they are the 14 of Chase Gibbons did as well. So they're 1 lap down, but ahead of the leaders are good old-fashioned 2004 style restarts. So this should be fairly interesting as far as things go. A little bit of a shakeup off pit road.
This isn't going to be about ultimate pace here. They're going to have to navigate this lap traffic, and it's not going to be the 16 just driving away from the field like we saw in that previous run. He's going to have to navigate some dirty air here.
Green flag goes. We're off and away. Remember, Ethan Harrison as well, a very slow car. He's on that inside groove. So it's Ponce, Greenhouse, Marnell, Guthrie, and Logan Williams, your top 5 here with just about 10 laps to go. Never mind, Greenhouse is going to peel down. Looks like he's got an issue of some flavor. That 53 peels away from the racing surface immediately going through turns 2.
We still have two of the slower cars ahead of the 16, but he already has a massive gap out to second place Christopher Marnell. I'm not sure exactly what happened to cause that, but I'm sure he's smiling under the helmet about that.
I would assume it had to do with Greenhouse peeling away. That messed up Marnell, as the 16 got loose through 1 and 2, and that 23, right as you said, a massive gap, doesn't matter anymore, as the 04 bounces off the wall. The top 5 are nose to tail right underneath each other up front, as we're helicopter cam with the 04. Oh, spinner in the back, that's a caution. Reed Simpson, oh, he gets tagged.
Yeah, I believe that's Anthony Foss in the 21 that drove straight into him, and it looks like another KHI car there getting caught up as well with Cam Arrow in the 29. So what was originally a really promising day for that team is going down the drain late.
Absolutely. As the yellow comes out here on lap 65, now lap 66 of 74. This is going to bring out a late race restart. Let's take a look at this yellow.
Similar incident to the first caution off turn 2, even involving Reed Simpson in both of them, where they just kind of run out of room on the exit of the corner and squeeze up into each other.
That was Lamar in the wall, and it looked like Lamar didn't even come off the wall there. Simpson just kind of self-cleared himself, and then as he was getting back going, the 21 just hits, bam, right into the back of that 4 car, who looked like he was going to keep the 4 car, the Yahoo machine, clean, but unfortunately that's going to end the day of what appears to be the 21 and ruin the day of Reed Simpson.
I got another restart coming up here, 10 to go, so all the lap cars are out of the way, so now it's going to be more about ultimate pace, and the 16 looks to have a lot of it based off that run that we had a couple stints ago. And just one thing I want to note, Logan Williams had to have started about 8th or 9th on that previous restart and made his way all the way up to 3rd and only 2 or 3 laps there, so something to watch there. Only 2 more cars to go to get to the lead.
Absolutely. Restart on lap 70 of 74. 5 laps to go at the stripe. As you said, under 10 laps to go. Lap cars to the back. We're back underway here. Green flag is back out. We're underway in the Southern 500. Zachary Ponce searching for his first win and the second straight win for Bones Motorsports. Christopher Marnell looking for his second win of the season. Logan Williams looking for his 3rd. So is Michael Guthrie sitting in 4th. He's looking for his 3rd. But don't count out Henry Guo in 5th. This would be his first win of the year and his first since season 1.
Yeah, we got a lot of heavy hitters up here in terms of multi-time winners and champions, but it's the rookie Zachary Ponce looking for his first career win, trying to hold them all off.
Marnell has carved through the field meticulously here, lap 71 of 74, 4 laps to go. Bouncing off the wall goes the 51. That's going to give Guo the 4th place spot. Marnell has gone from 36th to 2nd. He just needs one more to complete what would be an Ironman drive once again from the 23. I feel like every time we talk about Christopher Marnell, 3 laps to go, he just has something ridiculous happen to where he has to claw his way back through the field. Anytime he has a great qualifying run, anytime he has a great race, he gets shot from the back, and anytime he has a really good car, he's in the back and has to work his way to the front.
Yeah, I'm not sure this is quite as impressive as Strokey Banger's last to first challenge at the Coke 600, but it's certainly up there with it. As you said, started 36th and is knocking on the door of the lead here.
We've had really good runs this season. Strokey Banger, of course, hard to forget that 84 going last to first in our longest race of the year. But Marnell already has the Hard Charger Award here tonight, but only has one more lap to do it. Coming off of turn 4, Zachary Ponce, white flag in the air, the 16 car. Can he do it here at Darlington Raceway?
We have our 2 most recent winners here, trying to make it 2 in a row for Ponce and 2 in 3 races for Marnell. And it looks like Ponce is going to do it.
Unless something changes through turns 3 and 4, the 16 takes the lower line. The 23 follows suit. A little wiggle out of Marnell. All clean. Zachary Ponce, 2 in a row for Bones Motorsports. It's the 16 taking his first checkered flag of the season. After starting what was a disastrous season for Zachary Ponce, he gets the job done here at Darlington Raceway.
Yeah, pretty impressive drive for a rookie to hold off so many veterans like that, multi-time race winners and everything. But really good last run there for the 16.
Absolutely, as this 16 is going to do a little victory celebration, drive down that front straightaway. A well-deserved victory. Definitely, I wouldn't say handed to him because he had so many opportunities, so many laps to prove his worth, to prove his win. Took advantage of the opportunity being given to him, and a little bit of a miscue on that burnout, but that 16 is going to try to burn it down here on that front straightaway. Nothing beats your first donut.
He definitely was not the winner at Iowa last week. I misspoke there. I meant to say 2 in a row for Bones Motorsports, not for Zachary Ponce. Got him and Hunter Collier mixed up, but it is 2 in a row for Bones Motorsports.
Nevertheless, we'll take a look at our results. Ponce, Marnell, Williams, Guo, Guthrie. Justin Haley, P6. Best result of the season for him. Chen, Fridge, Gordoff, and Barone, your top 10. Robbie Gordoff egging out with the top 10 after starting well in the back. We'll cycle on to the remainder, back half of the field here. Reed Simpson with a damaged race car was still able to end up 33rd. Same with Cam Arrow and Anthony Foss. They were able to continue after their incidents. The only driver to retire from the race with an accident was Nathan Stapleton. So good to see that those guys were able to continue and get some points on the day, some points on the board, albeit not much. But they finished ahead of 2 other guys a lap down.
Yeah, and sometimes that's all it's about, just picking up the points where you can, even if it's only 1 or 2 points at a time. You got to take what you can get.
Speaking of points, we'll take a look at our points standings. Michael Guthrie with a small points lead over Logan Williams. Logan Williams has now moved his way back into second place in the points standings over Santiago Nicholas. Henry Guo quietly stalking Christopher Marnell for 4th place. We've got a lot of quiet drivers, and look at this. Zachary Ponce. This is what a win can do. Up to 8th place in the points standings. Hunter Collier in 10th. 2 Bones Motorsports drivers who had poor luck to start the season now see themselves in the top 10 in the points standings.
Yeah, the gaps are so tight that having one huge result can really catapult you up the standings in the same way that one bad result can catapult you down the standings. So it's a very volatile situation.
Absolutely. That is it's a nice word, volatile. Starts with a V. Don't see many big words start with the back half of the alphabet, like xylophone. But
yeah, I'm not sure. Hopefully the LIMECAR viewers can comprehend words that big. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I think our average IQ, I got to look at the Nielsen poll, but they said that like the smartest fans were what, WWE fans, and like the dumbest, or were the lowest IQ fans WWE, and the highest
No, I think
IQ,
those are the smartest. I think NASCAR fans are the dumbest, which doesn't really surprise me.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me either. I think LimeCar viewers would have to be like have the NASCAR number, and then that would be us. Especially if you're watching this late in the stream.
Yeah, I mean, if the chicken jockey talk at the end of Coda didn't turn you off, then I don't know what you're doing, man.
There's a reason that we're declining in viewers. Hey, if you times our viewers by 1 million, we're beating IndyCar. So
I don't even know if you have to go that far, man. These Fox numbers have been rough.
They have been. Put us on Big Fox, honestly. I think we'd pull.
We'd give them something to talk about, that's for sure.
Absolutely. I mean, we have teammates wrecking each other. We've got xylophones and other big words, volatile. And we have first-time winners like Zachary Ponce. Another big-ish name, Zach. I guess it's only 7 letters. But back half of the alphabet names. Yeah, we're going off the rails here. Welcome to the LimeCar podcast.
Anything we want to say about the race?
From my standpoint, I thought that was a good race. I would have liked to see more passing, especially from a color commentator standpoint. But nonetheless, just another one of those classic Darlington races. Anything you'd like to say, Dominic?
I'd say it was a good race. Obviously, it was a little bit tough to pass at times, but I'm obviously coming away from that very satisfied with all 4 of my cars in the top 8. Didn't get the win, unfortunately, but I'll take a result like that 10 times out of 10. So as long as we can keep doing that, I think we'll be fine.
And I mean, we mentioned earlier in the race all Mudfish cars in the top 15 earlier. All 4 in the top 8. I don't think we've seen that yet this season. So that's really, really impressive. Hats off to you guys at DAF Racing. And I hope you guys don't hang a banner that doesn't mean anything in the shop because of it. But I hope you guys get a good victory Monday, or at least a good celebratory Monday or Wednesday, I guess, dinner to celebrate your efforts.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll take in a McDonald's or something.
Oh, big spender. Maybe they'll get a double quarter pounder this time instead of a single.
Yeah, I'll let them pick off the dollar menu.
Well, from all of us here in the LimeCar booth, next race is Sonoma, our last road course race of the season. We'll see you guys all there. From myself and Dominic in the booth, we hope that you guys still watched. Okay, goodbye.